Hey guys, what's up? Thank you again for stopping in and checking out my channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about solo travel and the benefits of solo travel and why it's so important to take that time for yourself, whether it's for a night, one weekend, or even going to a restaurant to eat by yourself. It's important to just have that time for you. I also just saw a report come out about how solo travel is on the rise for 2024. A lot of people have kind of jumped on this bandwagon of, exploring by themselves without their spouse. And I think there's a lot of benefits to it. Let's dive in real quick before we get started on what I actually have planned for today, which is some more recipes out of our cookbook. The biggest benefits to solo travel is probably going to be the self-discovery. It really gives you a time to reflect because you don't have that other person to worry about or a family to worry about while you're traveling. It's just you and what you like and what you don't like. And then you can also discover exactly what you're capable of doing by yourself. It forces us to focus on, what do I like? Not the other person that I'm with, but what do I like? And what are the things that I enjoy without having that filter of having to care for somebody else while you travel. I've learned so much about who I am as a person while I've been on the road. It's been incredible to do, 3 trips around this country by myself in this tiny little camper. It was really, really awesome. And I kind of sort of wish I would have started sharing more sooner. However, I probably wouldn't have had the same benefit that I did had I done that, because I was going through such a personal journey that to share it made it seem like I was exploiting this whole experience, which I wasn't. It was just for me. So when I finally got to a place where I wanted to share, that's when I started this channel. I think another huge benefit to traveling solo is the freedom and flexibility. You can set your own itinerary. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be a little spontaneous if something comes up that you're like, ooh, I want to try that. And you can just hop in and dive in and try it without having to consider somebody else that you're traveling with. That makes it really, really fun. And it basically just allows you to go wherever the wind blows you without anything standing in your way. But no obstacles to figuring out, once again, exactly what you want to do and what you like and what you don't like. A third benefit would be boosting your self-confidence. When you think about traveling by yourself, when you're faced with challenges and you don't have a partner to rely on to help work your way out of a challenge, and you have to figure it out by yourself, and then you figure it out, what does that do to your self-confidence? It kind of really gives you that uplift that you need for your confidence level and makes you know that you're perfectly capable of being able to navigate this world. And I joke sometimes on some of the other videos that I've done about, redneck MacGyvering stuff, because sometimes that's what you have to do. And we already know 80% of what we're going to learn in a lifetime by the time that we're 5 years old. And, when you think about that, then, you basically have all the tools that you need to figure your way out of 80% of the situations that you're in. But solo travelers really have the upper hand on, skill development when it comes to understanding and problem solving and figuring ways out, because you've had to rely on yourself so much for challenges that you naturally occur while you're trying to live a nomadic lifestyle. Because if you think you're going to enter this type of lifestyle without any challenges, that's a false assumption. There are so many challenges when you're on the road, but the reason most people enjoy it is because of that boost that you get, that yes, we can figure our way out of anything that we're faced with, and we can keep moving. The fourth biggest thing that I can think of is basically cultural immersion. So when you are solo traveling, you don't have your companionship to kind of lean on when you're in uncomfortable situations, and it kind of forces you to get out into the culture a little bit more and have a deeper understanding of how people live their lives and the different types of people around the world or wherever you're traveling, and really gives you a good sense of what that culture's like versus, having your focus set on the person that you're traveling with. So I really enjoy solo travel for that reason alone, because, I've met so many people on the road. It's just been an incredible journey. And, the people that I met on this last trip in particular, because I was around people more on this past trip. Instead of sitting in a desert somewhere practically by myself most of the time, boondocking, when I did the coast, I had to book more places up the coast. And when I found places that I liked, if I could, I'd extend my stay. I really got a good sense of the community, after staying in some of these places for quite a while and learning about the people there and the cultures. It was just really beneficial. And we need people, y'all. Like we can't do this life alone. I'm just saying, like, solo travel is so fun for these reasons. The people that I met along the way really made my trip something special. Also, I think solo travel gives you enhanced empathy. It gives you a broader world view, and also it gives you a better understanding of different cultures and that we're all different, but everybody's beautiful in their own way. And I think that's a huge part to just this, being able to understand the connection with humans. And like I just said, about the cultural immersion, when you understand the connection between people and you understand how much we need each other and how much we're reliant upon one another, given our differences and everything else, and how we come together perfectly with our differences. And when you see that and when you understand it, it just makes the solo travel life something really, really unique and interesting and fun. And your personal development is just off the charts and out of this world sometimes when you have the understanding that you didn't before as a result of solo travel. Obviously, taking a trip around the country by yourself with your dog and your cat isn't on everyone's agenda. So, if you want to do solo travel, I would suggest start small, book a camping weekend somewhere or book a hotel if you're more comfortable staying in a hotel. Not everything has to be done the same way somebody else is doing it. Do it your own way. Do it how you're comfortable doing it. But, just try it and see if you like it. And I think you'll have a better understanding of yourself by the time you're done with one trip and what you're capable of. And it helps you reset and refuel and really causes you to focus on yourself and what are the things in life that are going to make you happy. Because at this point, it's not about the person that you're with. It's about you, because you're with you. So you've got to figure out exactly how to make yourself happy. And I know sometimes spending time alone or that much time alone is really scary to some people, but I think it's really beneficial for our mental health in the long run. But I just wanted to share that with you because I think that so many people look at solo travel, or like I've had so many people ask me, like, how do you do this? Like, aren't you scared? Well, yeah, I'm scared. But at the same time, if I, focused on my fears instead of my journey, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I channel those thoughts a different way, and I look at the benefits of the solo travel. So how would I feel if I didn't do it? And how I feel if I didn't do it is worse than how I would feel if I did do it. So I hope that makes sense. I'm a weirdo. All right. So I think it's time to dive into making some more 80s camp meals. I'm going to tell you the dessert first because I'm really excited about this one. It looks so good and it's so easy to make. It takes 3 ingredients and I'll show you. We're going to do a mock cherry cheesecake. That looks amazing. I don't know who you are if you don't like cheesecake. All it is a frozen pound loaf cake, some whipped cream cheese, and some cherry filling to put on top. I mean, how simple is that? And then the main course that we'll be doing is something that I picked that I'm wondering if I could conveniently do while I was on the road for the next time that I travel. So I picked the Middle Eastern sampler to give that one a try because that sounds amazing. I'm not usually a lamb person, but I wanted to try it because I do love Middle Eastern food. Anyway, so I'm excited to try these 2 recipes and give them a whirl and see what we can get whipped up in this camper in this tiny little space. And trust me, when you get used to cooking in a tiny little kitchen like this is the only space that I really have to work with in my kitchen, then you can cook almost anywhere. So you have to be extremely organized in this little space. But I'm going to get to getting everything set up and we'll get going. The ingredients that we'll be using today is going to be some lamb. I couldn't find the boneless lamb. I'm going to have to cut around some of the bone in here to get the meat off, but I'm going to cut that into 3/4 inch cubes. I'm going to be using some olive oil for the cooking oil. Chicken broth, we'll need 2 cups of that. Green onions, 3 cloves of garlic, some oregano, which this oregano is special. It came from my mama's garden. Salt and pepper, and some bulgur wheat. I don't know if I'm saying that. Bulgur wheat. And then we'll need some zucchini. I'm going to get everything cut and prepped and we'll check back in just a second. We got everything sliced and diced and chopped up. I've got my 1/2 cup of green onions. I minced garlic here. It's really difficult sometimes to cook in this tiny space, but we make it work. You know, and that's something that I try to take into consideration when I pick out some of these meals is this going to be easy to do while I'm on the road? Because I am the queen of easy and the winger of things, and I like convenient things. So if it's not convenient, then I get a little bit frustrated. So I always look for the path of least resistance. This one looked like it was pretty simple. You just throw everything. It is a genuine one pot meal. The only thing I had to use was a plate and a knife to cut up my other stuff that I needed. We're gonna go ahead and get our stove turned on and get that oil warmed up. You want to make sure you give that oil plenty of time to heat up, because otherwise when you throw meat on a pan and the pan's not hot, then it'll get all sticky and it'll stick to the pan. I did get all of my meat chopped up and deboned, so we're just gonna go ahead and throw it in and we'll see what happens. But all right. Smelling good. Y'all, I was just sitting here thinking, tell me about the last time that you took a solo traveling trip, and if you ever have, what did you do and what did you gain from it? I'm just really curious. I love hearing other people's stories. Since we've got the lamb all browned up, I'm going to start adding in the other ingredients. I need 2 cups of the chicken broth. The green onions, we're just going to go ahead and toss all that in here. Y'all, I make a mess in here every time I cook. Good Lord. And our garlic. And then we're going to need a teaspoon of oregano. I'm so excited to use stuff from my mama's garden. One teaspoon of oregano. And then about a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to wing it. All right. Looks good. If it needs more, we can always add more salt. You can't take it out. And then a dash of pepper. Give this a nice little stir. Oh my gosh, this smells amazing. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. And then we'll add in the bulgur wheat and then the zucchini, and I think then it'll be done. I mean, this meal really isn't that difficult. It's just the prepping was what the most time consuming for it. You know, getting everything cut up and sliced and diced. But I'm really excited. It smells delicious, and I can't wait to try it. Just super excited about this one. All these fresh ingredients. So now that this is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to reduce the heat, and I'm going to let it simmer. I'm going to put the lid on and just let it simmer for a little bit. All right, 15 minutes. I don't have a watch on. Let me check. All right. 15 minutes, we'll take it off. Just to give you guys an idea of what this looks like right now. It just looks so yummy. I'm really excited to try this. I'm just getting ready to add my bulgur wheat. I did go ahead and cut up my zucchini in the meantime, so I just halved it and then sliced it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dump a cup of this in here, get it stirred in, and let it sit for another 15 minutes and get that bulgur wheat tender. So the bulgur wheat is actually thickened up pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and add in my zucchini and get that stirred in and let it simmer for about another 10 minutes just to soften that up and get it cooked. That looks good. While I'm waiting on the last 10 minutes of the Middle Eastern sampler, I'm going to go ahead and get my dessert ready. So you're supposed to get a half a loaf of frozen pound cake. This is the best I could do right now. I couldn't find any pound cake. The pound cake should be pretty easy to find. It's just they were out the day that I went to look for it. So I got the loaf cake instead. It's already pre-sliced for me. And then I've got my whipped cream cheese and my cherry pie filling. I'm going to get this assembled real quick. It won't take me very long. This is pretty easy. A slice, some whipped cream cheese, and that comes out so easy. Smear on the cream cheese, put a little bit of the cherry pie filling on top. That looks so good. let's give this a try. That does not look bad for something that literally took like 10 seconds to assemble. Let's see what this came out like. And I mean, my meal isn't done yet, but life is too short. Eat dessert first. Y'all, I'm always so pleasantly surprised by these quick, easy recipes. Like, this is incredible for what it is. And this is just so rich and creamy. And all it was cream cheese and cherry pie filling and the loaf cake. And that's it. It's a nice little treat. Doing my happy food dance again. Okay, so I think I'm ready to give this a try. It's been sitting here simmering. I just turned off the heat. There's no room in this kitchen. I just turned off the stove, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a try. The zucchini is nice and soft and tender. And all right. I mean, that's not bad looking. It's a pretty meal. I mean, but when you're camping, you really don't care how your meals look. You're not serving up like a gourmet meal every time. I'm more worried about how it tastes, not how it looks. Man, this looks incredible. I will be making this one again for sure. This is delicious. This is incredible. And it feels like healthier than some of the other meals that you can make while you're out. Yeah, I just really, gosh, it's so good. Okay, this was a really good choice to make. Doing my happy dance. Do y'all dance when you're happy about food too? Because I love it. It makes me happy. Show you what it looks like in the pan real quick. This is what the dish ended up looking like. Not too shabby. I mean, just a quick, easy meal, one pan and a few plates just for chopping and slicing and dicing, and that was about it. With prep time and everything else for both of the dishes, the prep time really only took me about 15 minutes for both together. That's not a lot of time when you think about it, you know, so I mean, it was just gathering the ingredients, which was one of the hardest parts. This has been a fun little project to start because I love food, so this is perfect for me. The sun finally came out, and I wanted to give you guys just a little bit more information about this JP50 Pro from ICECO. It has been incredible to travel with. I've really enjoyed having it with me. It has changed the game 100%. I no longer have to go get ice every 3 days while I travel and do that crazy ice dance where you got to dump your cooler and then you splash yourself with water and you got to try and keep all of your groceries in there, and then you have to figure out what's been spoiled and what's not been spoiled from where the water's melted, and like containers have fallen in sideways to the water and seeped in that nasty cooler water. You don't have to worry about that anymore with the JP50 Pro. It's been really beneficial and saved me a lot of time and also money on ice. A bag of ice is what, anywhere from $1.99 to, you know, $3 or $4 a bag. If you're doing that every 3 days or so on average, that adds up to quite a bit. It is the best travel companion that you could probably ever get for a refrigerator. They do have different models if you need something else. They have dual chamber coolers as well, so you can actually have a freezer and a refrigerator in the same cooler. There's also different ones that you can actually control with an app from your phone. I picked this model because I wanted something that used the least amount of energy. So that wouldn't be as much of a concern as mine because I don't have the setup for something that used a little bit more energy. But they have various different models. And they also come with a ICECO compressor, which is extremely quiet. So if I wanted to put this in my camper, it wouldn't keep me up at night if it did go on or kick on overnight. And I'm a light sleeper, so for it to be kind of quiet for me to be able to sleep is a blessing. But it's a high efficiency compressor as well, so it doesn't draw that much power. I actually got a power bank for Christmas, and I discovered that off of this power bank, it can power this refrigerator for at least 10 days before I need to recharge my power bank. So that is a blessing when you're traveling. If you get some solar panels and just charge up your battery bank while you're out traveling, then you can keep this refrigerator running indefinitely, especially when you're out west and you have so much sunshine. But you know, it can run for about 10 days off of that, which is to me incredible to run a refrigerator off a tiny power bank like that. I wanted to show you how it fits in my car logistically, just to give you a better understanding of the space that it takes up. This is the 51 quart, and it really fits in the car nicely because it's tall, so it doesn't take up as much width. And yeah, it fits in really nicely. They did a really great job with this product, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew how amazing and awesome this has been for traveling. And I've put a link down below for you guys for a discount. Be sure to check that out. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So what's cooler than being cool? ICECO. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Y'all make me stop. Okay, I'm moving on. All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today and go down this 80s culinary adventure. And this was a really good meal. I'm really happy with the outcome on this. I hope I've encouraged you a little bit to try some solo traveling if you haven't already thought about it or done it. It's something that's really, it's awakening and it's transformative, and it's really good for mental health for people to see what they're capable of. And I think that we're all capable of more than we give ourselves credit for. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more recipes to come in the future. And I really hope to see y'all down the road. Y'all take care.